All right, boys and girls. So, Carnal's on the laptop today, so we have a nice, pretty setup for you, so you can look at all the pretty pictures in this lovely mug right here. You're reading this correctly, and it's just as depraved as you would think that it is. Trans porn director sentenced for forcing 7-year-old daughter to perform in sadistic videos. The image you see before you is obviously a well-adjusted individual who totally does not belong in the wood chipper. It goes brr. Marina Voles, a biological male who identifies as a woman, has been sentenced to 25 years in prison after forcing her, I love the quotations on this site, that gives me a nice warm fuzzy feeling. The quotations does it for me. Her 7-year-old daughter to participate in the production of sadistic child sexual abuse material. Members of what has been described as a family-owned transgender pornography production company. That was a mouthful, ladies and gentlemen, and not in the good way, and not in the way you would ever want to be associated with a transgender pornography production company. Have been sentenced in connection with the horrific sexual abuse of the 7-year-old child. Voles, who was born Matthew, has been sentenced to 25 years in prison for forcing, again quotations, her 7-year-old daughter to participate in sexual acts. Anna Slatz reports from Redux. The trans-identified male was arrested back in 2019 after the New Jersey Department of Child Protection became aware that Voles was creating hardcore pornography in a home where a child lives. Following the execution of a search warrant, the authorities found that the child in question had likely been exposed to sexually explicit material, but it got even worse. Electronic devices were subsequently seized from the property, and an examination later uncovered several sexually explicit photos and videos of the child, Slatz reports. The child was then removed from the premises. The child's mother lived in Oregon, a bastion of conservative values, I sarcastically add. During the span of the abuse, post-millennial report, in addition to Voles, 3 others were arrested in that part of the pornography company that reportedly specialized in fetish, taboo, and BDSM content. Voles, alongside trans-identified male Ashley Romero, took the young girl from her mother and had transported her to New Jersey to use the child in the sexual exploitation material industry. Following Voles' arrest, the child now resides with relatives, and Voles has surrendered all parental rights. Prosecutors argued during the trial that the girl has been subjected to, and I quote, a vortex of darkness after being removed from her mother. According to Slatz, Assistant Somerset County Prosecutor Brian Stack said the 4, who had formed a sadistic family unit, were, quote, incapable of redemption, noting that none had taken responsibility for the harm they'd done. Judge Peter Tober noted, without going into full email, that the girl had been subjected to torture-like conditions, noting the usage of neck collars, a cage located in the basement, and sex toys. If this was not heinous, cruel, and depraved, I don't know what is, Tober said, adding that the girl had been taken from her real mother solely for the sexual gratification of others. Voles had been sentenced on the charges of human trafficking, aggravated sexual assault, conspiracy, and endangering the welfare of a child. Voles has received 25 years in prison for the heinous crimes. I'm going to take a moment to breathe and add that should have been 25 years for each damn charge. Minimum. We'll get into other ulterior treatments for this. Don't get me wrong. We'll get there. Romero, born Adam, was also handed a 25-year sentence after admitting to helping Voles transport the child with the intentions of sexually abusing her. One piece of evidence recovered from the residence showed Romero sexually abusing the girl alongside 54-year-old Sean Allen, who has also been sentenced. Allen has received a 12-year sentence in his role in the abuse. Dulcinea Gnecco, however you actually pronounce that non-Italian bullshit name, was also arrested alongside others and charged with 4 counts of child endangerment. According to Slats, Gnecco was the cook for the house and handled basic care for the child, because calling it child care would have been far too generous. Gnecco was arrested alongside, yes. The 4 pled guilty on November 21st as a part of an agreement. Somerset County Prosecutor's Office. They will reportedly receive credit towards their sentence for time served behind bars since 2019. Now, that was a horrendous shit show, and let's just scroll back to the top. Look at this well-adjusted individual. Physiognomy is a thing, guys. Not only is that not a woman, that is clearly a psychopath. This is someone whose mind is clearly off his rocker. And this was the mugshot. He looks happy to be there. It looks like he knows that he's going to get the treatment he deserves going where he's going. If only he had been a little apprehensive about giving that kind of treatment to a child. You guys don't need to be told, because most of you here already know. They're coming for your children. And they're not kidding.